Good morning.
Okay, yeah.
Welcome to the Fire Committee meeting for July 14th, 2026. We can call this meeting to order. Are there any declaration of pecuniary interests?
Unknown.
Hopefully we have circulation of the prior meetings minutes. I will let you know that my internet is running extremely slow right now.
We're having trouble, like, that's why Jennifer's not in the room, because her
There's this down.
computer wouldn't work at all.
She's in the other room.
Mm.
We approved these at the last council
We
meeting,
did.
right?
Mhm.
The end of June.
Mm.
Okay.
And we did not have any, did we have any business arising? I don't believe we did last.
No.
So we can move on to number 8, the Fire Hall Joint Health and Safety Committee inspection sheets. Were there any questions about those? That's okay. I also have it up if you want.
No, I just looking back, I didn't think there was anything. No.
No, there wasn't.
It was a clean month.
It tends to be.
Yeah.
But sometimes.
Well, they're the leaders.
And what is it that you do to make sure that your health and safety inspection sheets are always in order?
It's just diligence.
Diligence.
Yeah, every day we walk around, make sure that everything's in its place.
What happens when something's not in its place?
It goes back to its place.
All right, I like it. Thank you for your
Keep
diligence.
it easy.
They also live on checklists. Know that for the trucks.
Yeah, we have to have everything where it's supposed to be, or else life's chaotic.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Well, we, in that case, we can move on to the fire monthly report for June 2026.
Morning. All right. So as far as the training goes, had a fair amount of training last month, so that included some daytime training as well. So we had the SADS exercise that a lot of you were part of, or kind of part of, because we did our EM exercise at the same time to coordinate with that. So we're diving into the water last month and
See what you did there.
continuing that into this month. So doing some shore-based stuff, in-water stuff, and integrating in the marine with that as well. Call-wise, nothing too crazy. We're getting back to our normal number of calls, or our average number of calls per month. We had a couple of quiet months there. So we're back up in our normal area. Community relation activities. We did do quite a few pub ed events last month, in the month of June, and that kind of came because of the year-end school tours. We get a lot of requests for fire hall tours, education stuff down at the splash pad, and that sort of stuff. So we did quite a few of those. Our staff participated in the Canada Day event. And even though it did get moved, we still had a fair amount of traffic with the truck, being that it was outside the arena. So that worked out okay. And then we had the daycare. They asked if they could bring the whole tour over, so we did a tour with the Point Edward Early Learning Center. Fire safety inspections. So we had a food truck inspection. So we had a change of ownership on one of the trailers, so we had to do a new inspection on that. We've been consulting back and forth with the Point Edward Early Learning Center regarding change in licensing. So we've been working with them, reviewing and commenting on their fire safety plan that needs to be updated to reflect that license change. Participated in some fire drills at the Sarnia Golf and Curling Club. So we met with them and actually participated in their drill. And we did multiple drills at the Bridgeview School. So they needed to get their year-end compliance done, so we participated with them. We also met with the property manager at 1500 Venetian regarding some false alarm issues that we've been having over there. And we asked for a key audit of the property because we weren't able to gain access to the property, where they're all independently alarmed. we didn't want to do, you know, $1,000 damage to somebody's door unnecessarily, so they didn't have a key for that particular residence, so we've asked them to do an audit on their keys and so we can get that
Mm.
squared away. Emergency management, I'll leave that to Claudio.
So June had our EM annual exercise as part of the SAS exercise, as was mentioned. Again, overall, I think a lot of positives came from the exercise, some good learnings too. Bit of a debrief afterwards, and then some report notes from that as well were circulated. One of the things I think I forgot to put in that debrief report was not overlapping a major SAS exercise with our EM exercise at the same time. I thought it would work better.
Yeah.
But it kind of.
It was a good idea and a good thing
Yeah.
to try.
Yeah.
And we
There's some
learned from
wrinkles
it.
in it.
Yep.
So,
I mean, if I was ever gonna do that again, which I don't think I would do it like that, I'd have SAS in the morning and then our exercise in the afternoon,
Yeah.
hearing what happened, but anyway. So lessons learned for me as well.
mhm.
We had our county CMC meeting in June as well. At that meeting, I asked our field officer again about the HIRA tool update. And was told that there is no ETA anymore. I don't know what that means. It's been since 2024, I think, that they're supposed to release this tool. And the funny part is all of the actual documentation's done. They have it all finished. It's just the actual Excel spreadsheet tool that they create. This hasn't been released yet, so I may look at taking the old one and just recoding it to make it work, but I was hoping that'd be done by now because I had a date set up in July for us to sit down and do that, which I've since canceled. So more to come on that.
But we still have the existing document and it's still in
That's right.
place and.
Yeah, it's still valid, and I don't, looking at it, there might be some movement of hazards in there. I don't think we're gonna see anything leave the list and something new jump in.
Yeah, there's probably nothing to go, but
Yeah,
I can't even think of anything new, maybe just
no.
order.
yeah, exactly. I think it's just an order thing, but still, it's an exercise we should complete.
Yeah.
It's kind of part of what we're doing right now with the community risk assessment stuff too, so it all ties together, so there'll be more to come on that eventually. Again, ECCC, so Environment Climate Change Canada has been doing a lot of these not debriefs, briefings lately. Which again is very nice to have. So they talk about upcoming severe weather or unique weather situations like the heat alerts and stuff like that. So did a few in June for weather, both heat and potential severe thunderstorm warnings and watches. On that topic, so Jay Van Klinken from the county reached out to, I guess, ECCC to ask about that tornado alert that we got.
Mhm.
That wasn't for anything for us here. It was.
Being the Canada Day party one.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Thursday. So the answer was fairly vague, but their response basically said, like, if the tower that was sending the signal out to Petrolia, for example, had a reach that came into Lambton County, then we would get the alert as well. So that's kind of what happened, is it
Okay.
it kind of leached over and we were kind of in that path of that signal. So that's why we got the alert here, even though it was sunny and beautiful, but again, it's better to be on the side of caution than not do it and then something happened. Like there was pretty severe weather going through Petrolia at that time, so
Well, Glencoe got a tornado.
yes, exactly. So
Ultimately.
that way everyone knows versus nobody knows and then we're caught off guard. So that was kind of their response to that. The county, so Jay and Jason Cole from the county were meeting with some representatives from 511 or Municipal 511 as they're passing through coming home from the conference. So they thought they'd throw it on Teams and I joined in as well and got to ask some questions. So one of the questions I asked, I know we've talked about it, is if we put something in Municipal 511 here, does it go to Google Maps and Waze and Apple Maps? And they said it does.
Well, that's good.
So if we put a road closure or something, it will eventually get into Google Maps. He said it's not a real time thing where you just,
Mhm.
type it and there's a certain refresh time period that they do to pull information on the Google side. So, but yeah, it's good to know that we can actually direct traffic that way. real, because if we're just doing it ourselves and putting it in there and only we see it, then there's no value to it, but if someone traveling in or out of the area can now on their maps see that that road's closed, and it's good for us to be able to do that, so.
They didn't know how long the time lapse would be.
No, it just depends on when Google's server is refreshed.
Yeah.
So every, whatever it is, he doesn't know, it goes out, pings all this, all the,
Yeah.
all the maps and figures out what's new and what's different. But it does it, so that's a good thing.
Claudio, can you just, enlighten me on the constant contact that we got about the weather thing at the,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, the satellite?
Yeah, so a few years ago, we've installed a weather station at the fire hall. It's on the
Mhm.
pole right between us and the church next door. And it's accurate local weather, like right on that pole.
Mhm.
Part of that system we bought puts the information online. Something happened with the link for the website that system was using, and it got lost. So I had to basically recreate that link, and then create a new link to get the information. So it wasn't the same link from
Okay.
before. So I know Pima uses it for their soccer. I know,
okay.
Mhm.
Public Works, those guys use it as well. So I want to make sure that everyone had the latest
Okay.
link. Because if you would have clicked on the old one, it would say this page doesn't exist. So I didn't want to have people sitting there going, what happened? So that was the idea behind that, just
Okay.
make sure everyone had that information.
So we could just link online and
Yep, and it'll
We will-
show,
for our own area.
it'll show exactly what that temperature is, the humidity there is.
Yeah.
There's two links, one's more of a thorough list, and it shows like historical weather, it shows, it actually forecasts weather based on barometric pressure and all these fancy things.
Yeah.
But the small link is just temperature, humidity, wind speed, convection, so there's different ways of doing it. We can embed it on our village website too, which maybe at some point we'll look at doing.
I think that would be,
Because it's one thing to go on and
Good
look
to
at the airport temperature, which
Yeah.
is great, but that's
but it's
10
different.
kilometers that way.
It's
right?
always different here.
Yeah, it is.
If we had someone willing to update our social media with our local weather regularly, people would go to our social media pages
Yeah.
regularly to look for that.
Yeah.
Which would increase traffic and work really well in terms of people seeing what we have on there.
So I wonder if there's a way of embedding,
Onto the social media, not
Yeah,
necessarily. Maybe,
I don't
it would depend how
know how
your
that would work.
account set up.
okay.
We could look at that
into it.
together.
Sure.
The website, we can do that for sure. There's an
Mhm.
embedment link they give you. But yeah, I'm not sure what the social media part.
We could think of a couple of ways we could do that.
Okay.
That is kind of a topic, sort of, that was discussed at the county level is. Some municipalities were posting severe weather alerts on their social media. So if we knew of a thunderstorm coming or tornado risk, they would post that out.
Mhm.
The conversation was, okay, who owns that, right? So if I'm doing it and I'm gone for a week on vacation, now that
Mhm.
information's not being posted, if people start to rely on that versus
Mhm.
going to ECCC, where the source of information. So we stopped, as a collective, we stopped putting that on our social medias.
I would just say if you were going to do something like that, anything that falls into that same type of category would be just every time having the same disclaimer.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you've got a liability issue.
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And if we miss a tornado warning, because we're
Yeah.
not
Make
available.
sure to check this link
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Here's the link,
Yeah.
but here's what it is right now. But here's the link. Here, take the link,
Yeah, exactly. Go to the
Bookmark it.
source. So,
save it on your desktop.
but as far as posting the real-time weather conditions, I don't see, there's no obviously issue with that. Showing what the temperatures at the fire hall and
Yeah.
People check the weather every morning.
Yeah,
yeah, but FEMA's been using that for deciding on whether their soccer's gonna go or not
Mhm.
that night, is because they'll say, okay, the temperature at the fire hall is this tonight and humidity's
Yeah.
this, we're not gonna do it tonight.
and this summer it's been valuable.
Exactly, yeah,
They have had to call off nights.
and it even shows humidex based on humidity and
Yeah.
temperatures and stuff, so. I just wanted to make sure that people that were using that service weren't calling the office or us going,
Yep.
hey, what happened, I can't get there anymore, so that's why. That link went back out.
Well, thanks for explaining.
Oh. I think that's all I've got up there. Yep.
Perfect. As far as partner agencies, we've been working with the Blue Water Bridge. To come up with a procedure so that they can notify us with the large super loads that have been blocking Venetian. So they've been following through with that. We get a number of calls from them.
Good.
they feel that they're gonna start to subside. There's not gonna be as many of them because there was a plant that was being
Yeah.
decommissioned somewhere locally, and now that's not gonna
Part of
affect us
it
as
was-
much.
Yeah, it was specific to what was happening at the time.
Yeah. Not on there is, we're working with the county as well, the planning side, for some new development that's coming in the village, so commenting on those. Facility
Take
wise,
one quick, sorry.
Yep.
I thought of something. With regards to those wide loads coming through the village, when we're talking with those Transnomus guys that own municipal 511, they have software that the county uses for their permitting, that they use to permit those wide loads. So they're gonna look into the possibility of whenever a permit's created for this area, it would send an automatic email to us saying, you know, it'd be arranged, right?
Yeah.
At some point this
Sure.
week,
Yeah,
this load would be coming.
That's awesome.
That's
I haven't
wonderful.
heard.
That's
anything, so I
fantastic.
should
Yeah.
probably follow up with Jason there and see.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the follow-up you
Yeah.
two did on that.
well, the problem is that they're having is they get their permitting and it says they're gonna come between 1 and 3. And then the bridge calls and says, oh, we got a permit that's good from 1 to 3. And then he'll call at 3 and say they haven't showed up yet.
Or they'll call it 12 and say, oh, they're here now.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah, or yeah, you're right,
We
just the
agree.
opposite. They'll call and say, hey, oh, by the way, they're here now, so. And they're stuck in the middle of Venetian, for the next,
Yeah.
most times it's pretty good, they're off the road within 10 or 15 minutes. But they've had a couple of instances where they're stuck on the road for an hour. Just because of the size of the load and trying to navigate that gate and just logistics of the trucks and how they operate and move, so. But, Blue Water Bridge has been holding up to their end of the deal and they've been calling, they've been good, so.
That's the best we can hope for.
Yeah, no,
Not gonna be perfect.
they've definitely stepped up and been making the calls. As far as the buildings go, interior wise, nothing really to report. On the exterior, we've been gathering quotes and cost estimates for the potential exterior upgrades. So that's almost done now. I've got costing for painting, estimate for landscaping, estimates on doors, that kind of stuff. I guess just what's the next step, like as far as how do you want that to look? Do you want me to come to you with the cost estimates? Because it's gonna exceed the 20, so we need to pick stuff. And then as far as colors and stuff like that, like we're gonna paint the exterior, are you gonna leave that just to us to make that color pick, or like I'm just looking for some direction on that, like.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a really good question.
For the quoting, for the paint, I've asked them, we have to take the sign down. So there's a quote to take the sign down from a different company. The letters would be repainted on the ground. That sign company would have to come back and reinstall those after the facade's painted.
Mhm.
The facade has to be cleaned a certain way. And then it has to be scrubbed a certain way with, different chemistry to make sure that the new paint sticks. Then we'd have to have that painted and what that color looks like. I've asked them to include around the library because taking a walk around the library, it's looking, pretty tough as well. So, I guess kind of looking for some direction on the next steps.
So I think there should be some kind of a spreadsheet that, items 1 through 10 of potential upgrades.
Mhm.
And item 1 is gonna cost this, item 2 is gonna cost this, then we know what the total package is gonna be.
Mhm.
And then committee can make recommendations to council.
Okay.
but
Of what they want
a
to do.
rank it
Yeah,
in priority.
well, yeah, and then like you said, there's certain things that have to be like. Item 1 has to be done before item 2 and 3 can be done,
Mhm.
maybe, so. Put it in that kind of context, so if you want to accomplish item 3. You have to do 1 and 2 as well, so then that piece is a $20,000 total, so.
Yeah.
And yeah, some kind of priority ranking on.
That I-
would be-
Alternatively, if it seems like it'll be easier, if you have like idea 1 and idea 2 and there's, 1 fits in the budget and 1 doesn't.
Mhm.
And you can just show this is what you get with 1 and this is what you get with 2.
Mhm.
If it makes it simpler for the
Mhm.
laying it out. Then
That
would
part
be-
is, that part's fairly easy to accomplish. It's like the colors
Mhm.
and stuff like that,
If-
because that's what you gotta live with.
Yeah.
The number,
I mean, if you have recommendations
I
for those,
would like a
then,
check off.
right, yeah,
Just,
well, yeah,
I'm not saying interfere, but I like a
Nope.
final, everybody can have a look at it. So
like, don't give us a full range
No.
when it comes to picking the colors. You guys
but
show
come
us
back,
what you want,
This is what
but
we want. don't
maybe
we?
two options.
We want to say,
Yeah, if we really don't like it, we'll tell you.
yeah,
okay.
like just for another input. Cause then once you do it, it's done.
Yeah, once it's done, it's done. That's
Yeah.
the-
Right. And I
When do you
think, I think
expect
it's
that?
not like we're gonna do
Yeah.
something really out there
Yeah, they're not,
from what
it's
we
not gonna be
discussed, so.
Fuchsia.
fuchsia. or-
Well, that could be cool.
I'm not saying we can't pick colors, but,
No, just,
It's not my strength.
I
I know what you mean.
you
Yeah.
might
I
have,
coordinate because I have to.
there might be pros and cons, so just if we
Mhm.
could all check it off. But when do you think, you wanna do this painting? So when would all of this be happening?
it would ideally be done before, the weather changes.
Cause we don't have a meeting. The
No.
reason I'm bringing it up. is
Yeah.
we're
October.
Committee, and
Well,
we could have,
we could meet to discuss it
meeting
really
to
quick
see-
if we need to
yeah,
at some
yeah.
point. That's,
that's what I was thinking. To look at what you have and the
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't hold anything.
The
up.
paint guy, I asked him his thoughts and he was very, direct and blunt and said, I don't pick colors.
yeah. No, because he doesn't want you complaining. if
That's
you don't
exactly,
like
he
it.
says that's all on,
She's in the bathroom
That-
right now.
that's all on you. He's like, I will not comment, I will not help, you find somebody
Yeah,
else.
okay.
comment.
I have got a painter right now and he's saying, this is the most popular. Like
Yeah.
he has opinions, but
Yeah,
he
So-
wouldn't pick it for you, but he tells you what
Mhm.
pros and cons.
I'll put the numbers together and then we can go from there, and we have a couple ideas on colors and like,
Use
Uh,
AI to create some
yeah.
renderings. and
Yeah,
stuff.
the doors are probably not gonna fit. Well, probably not, they're not gonna fit within that $20,000 budget because the doors alone over exceed that 20 grand, so. And then, that might be a conversation for budget time. Alrighty,
If it's Towards the end of your workday or something.
Yeah,
could
well, we
do-
did, that's,
We
that's
could
not,
do a sit down or
just-
something.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. That's not gonna take us.
Yeah,
the time.
yeah. Before anymore or something.
also talking to the electrician, he's gonna come in, he's gonna pull down one of the pot lights on the facade. Right now, we only have 2 out of the 9 that work. And he's gonna pull them down. He's gonna see if he can convert them from the metal halide bulbs that are in there now, the high pressure sodium metal halide, to an LED. So he thinks there might be a way to bypass the transformer. So you just cut the transformer out of it, then it's just 110 going to the
Mhm.
light. We can replace them with the metal halide bulbs. They're like $60 a piece to do, which isn't the end of the world, but I think efficiency wise and stuff,
Mhm.
we'd like to, look at that. Because long-term, that'll be the better route to go. Black and Mac, was in and did, some rooftop, cleaning on the rooftop units. So that was completed. We also had a company come in and do a roof scan, that was set up through Mike at Public Works. I'm not too up on that. I guess they do a baseline by using some
Infrared, yeah.
thermal imaging and infrared, so that was done. I don't know what the results of that were. I'm assuming that goes
But
back,
in the past where we had a roof audit.
I think
Yeah.
this is a,
Paul, though,
Not
it
all,
had been
okay.
Public Works last
Okay.
year or the year before.
Cause on the arena we do.
And we had talked about having it done. at
Okay,
Hall.
okay, then I forgot about that. That's good.
so I'm sure he will or has sent a report.
Yeah, I haven't
If
seen
if
it,
there
but
was any issues with that.
Yeah. There shouldn't be. I mean, the roof is only a couple of years old, so there better not be any issues with it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But it's good to know.
Yeah,
And then I had a couple of contractors in to size up the overhead doors and supply cost estimates for the replacements, so. The all glass door idea, that's the expensive one. It's
Yeah.
gonna be upwards of 70 grand just for the 2 doors for that, so.
Mm.
Just as an FYI. Vehicle wise, the vehicles are in working order. We had code 4 in to inspect and repair tools for the Jaws of Life. And they did find an issue with, some of our tooling. You couldn't tell by operating it normally during, equipment inspections. But, one of the internal check valves had failed so that, we wouldn't have got the spread, that we needed on some of that stuff, so they had to fix that. We're getting some invoicing for that. We met with the, Engine One supplier. And got an update on the progress and the next steps, so that was done last week. Thought maybe that they were coming to ask for more money, because that seems to be a trend in the industry right now, but that wasn't the case, so that was good. They basically just gave us a rundown and an update on the truck, so similar to what we've talked about before, maybe pushed by another month, but landing in Canada, January of 27, down at, their facility for approximately 30 days. And then, in service probably late March, early April of 27. So. We did end up having to put a new battery in the 39. We were getting it ready for the Canada Day event, but, then with the weather change, we, abandoned that, but we had it ready to go, so we had to get a new battery for that. And then, we had 3 pagers that were deemed unrepairable. So we purchased 2 used units and 1 new pager, but, most of our pagers are 18 years old, or in that area, so. I'm not asking for any money today, but we'll be putting that in budget to replace some pagers. They're getting to the end of their lifespan, so.
I'm surprised at that, because I thought you were doing that with the same as with the suits and that, like on a, buying so many at a time.
We did at one
Okay.
time when we switched over from the older one,
Yeah.
but the last number of years,
Just got away from it.
well, yeah, because they weren't failing to the
Okay.
point. We have a maintenance agreement with the pager, supplier. But they're getting to the point where they're just end of life.
What's a ballpark on a pager?
750.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had a couple of used ones that he gave us for a couple $100 a piece, and they were in, good shape. And then we had to buy 1 new one. So we're getting to the point where it's rollover time. So just technology and stuff gets old.
Mhm.
They do take a beating. I mean, you wear them every day. So health and safety wise, so we completed our inspections. The Joint Health and Safety completed its inspection with nothing noted. Claudio and I completed the Working at Heights training, the requalification for that. That was completed. And then, we had some self-study stuff that was put out by the coordinator that got completed. Security wise, nothing. Capital budget, we've got some bunker suits on order, so they should be here in the next probably month or so. Community feedback, we did get a thank you letter from the Inn of the Good Shepherd for our participation in the surf and turf event. We did get a thank you from St. Anne's Public School for the fire hall tour and the education sessions that we put on for them. Same with, PE McGibbon. Got one from them. Bridgeview School, they thanked us for assisting in their fire drill. Got one from, Sarnia Golf and Curling. Helped out their health and safety coordinator. She's new to the role, so we walked through the steps with her. And then, we had a resident, that called us after hours on Simpson Street that, our smoke alarms were acting up, and she wasn't able to change the batteries, so we went over there and got that
Oh.
done.
I'll call you the next time I have to climb up on the ladder.
Well, that's the scary part, because,
Yeah.
these older, seniors that, maybe she didn't have anybody to come do it for her, so,
Well, I'm glad you guys helped her out.
Yeah,
I mean,
she was
that's what our population looks like.
very thankful. Upcoming events, we got Tim Hortons Camp Day. It's always an event we try to help out with because they're good to us. We did have, actually 5 members attend the heavy extrication training, that happened this past Saturday out at Preferred Towing. So it was a good training day for those members. Our annual pump testing, excuse me, is, happening next week. So we confirmed with them, they're coming Tuesday, so I'll have to talk to the arena and make sure that we can use the parking lot over there to get that done. Ground ladder testing, it'll be completed this same week. We have been doing a review and an update on our simplified risk assessment. So you'll be seeing that to look at and review probably for the next meeting. I thought we might have it done for this meeting, but we got a few more tweaks to do to that. We did meet with the OFM, our advisor for our annual compliance, and the mandatory NFPA compliance deadline, which took place on July 1st. So we got that done. We had a number of members that attended the SADS exercise, and there was an after action report that SADS had, or BASIS, sorry, had put through, and that was included in the package. Thank you goes out to Jay at the water treatment plant for allowing us access to his buildings and property. We've been using that for training, and it's been going well. Did meet with Jay regarding some of the 2 port hydrants that are left in the village. And we're looking to a long-term solution to upgrade those. So not asking for any money today, but just to put it on the radar that come budget time, we're going to be asking for some money to change out those hydrants. There's still 31 of them in the village that exist. And operationally for the fire department, there is some operational efficiencies that come along with that. And there was a little document that got attached to that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Somewhat of a justification. We met with the Optimist Club regarding their Bridge Bash event that's coming up, and setting up an inspection with the food vendor that they've got coming for that day. We've ordered some stationwear for a bunch of our members, and we're trying to get to a minimum standard, so we've not abandoned the #1 dress, but because of how our department operates and the transients that we have, we don't want to be spending $1,000 per #1. So we're trying to get everybody to look similar, that if we have an event that there's some sort of standard there. Our new recruits are coming along well in the training, so that is good. And then congratulations goes out to Claudio for completing his 1021, his 1041. Lots of work went into that. The green light discussion, there was a letter that came through Sarnia Fire that came from a concerned citizen regarding green lights, and her witnessing a volunteer firefighter responding and people not being aware of what the green light meant. We have done social media stuff around it.
A lot.
I guess the question I had was, and I've reached out to some of the county chiefs to see who has signage. So some of the county departments have a sign that's similar to that. There's different variations of it. Is it something that the committee feels it's worthwhile to investigate putting signs like that up at the entrances of the village? They come at a cost around between $100 and $150 per sign. We would have to install them, like Public Works would have to install them. I asked some of the county chiefs if they felt that they were effective means of communication to people, and some said not sure, some said yes, some said they weren't really sure. So it was brought up by a citizen through a letter. I told the chief of Sarnia Fire that we would investigate it, and we do it on Constant Contact. I believe we've done it lots on social media.
There was a new posting on Facebook this week about the green light.
Yeah. So
Oh, you
Claudio,
did that. Okay.
I would say it'd be worthwhile to investigate the signage, but I would say that we'll maybe something else additionally as well. Like that's gonna catch a group of people who read signs.
yeah.
Do you guys talk about that when you do your education with the students? Like when you go into the schools?
Not typically.
You should add that because
Yeah.
kids tell their parents everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, do you know what,
Well,
the
that
red
is-
flashing light is, but do you know what the green flashing light is?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
crosswalks.
Yeah.
I feel like most people that I've talked to learned how to properly use those flashing light PXOs from their kids.
Yeah.
Because so much emphasis was put on the training of the kids for safe crossing. But we don't have that kind of contact with adults in large groups like that.
Yeah.
And kids will tell their parents.
I was just wondering if, and then I'm not opposed to the signage, but I noticed that in the village, we have a lot of signage.
Mhm.
And I'm just wondering if people are nose blind or
Right.
to the signage, so.
Like,
And that it'll work for the people that it works for. It just not everybody is looking at every single sign like that.
Yeah, so. So yeah, so because it came in the form of a letter, we thought we would just investigate it. That is like a reflective MTO approved sign through the sign vendors that I'm sure that it's probably the same sign vendor that Mike used. I didn't call Mike, but I talked to some other people. And they run between 100 and 150 depending on the size you use.
would be expensive. It's not about the cost,
Yeah.
especially on something for safety. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking it's 3 entrances.
Mhm.
Like Venetian front in Michigan. But
I
it's
think it's
whether it's
worth,
effective.
I think it's worth doing. It's effective, it's more effective than not having it. I think a big thing with signs is people are just so used to seeing so many signs. There's nothing that, it might have green on it, but there's nothing that makes someone want to stop and read it. If we were doing education through like Constant Contact or our social media pages, I would say, don't just share that and say, did you know that you're supposed to do this? Maybe have some of your firefighters make a little video saying, hey, when this light's going, it's my safety.
Oh, yeah.
that you're, and people will stop and watch. It doesn't have to be grim, it can be funny.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have someone who would love to come up with
We
something.
actually have one.
Right,
Video that was
but you
made.
add the face and
Unfortunately, he's
people
gone.
are paying attention,
Oh,
Yeah.
right? It draws
Yeah.
people's attention, like that's gonna get most people paying attention.
Because we do have a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to dig it, but because we did do a video about
Yeah.
it. We'll just have to see if we can find it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you could share it there. I'm sure the Bridgeview page would probably share the video on theirs as well. If you had
Yeah.
something, right? That just to reach a separate group of parents who maybe aren't looking at your.
And the message is yes, for the responding firefighter safety, but. If that person's
Mhm.
coming to my house, with
Yeah.
my fire out, I wanna move out of the way and get from there
Yeah,
as fast as
absolutely.
possible, right? So. Sometimes you gotta drive the message in from us, from their selfish perspective. right?
Absolutely, yeah.
As the public and.
And you
This
can
is-
have more than one video, because then
Yeah.
it'll attract
Yeah,
a couple of
okay.
people, but,
Do a
um,
little campaign, maybe if we plan on going and doing these signs, we can do it around that, right, kind of make a.
Yeah.
Little campaign.
yeah, and you can always reshare that same video on like
Yeah.
your story or anything when you're feeling like, maybe we want to refresh.
Mm-hmm.
Just try and like not at every week
Yeah.
on Tuesday at
Yeah.
10 AM, but
That video again.
Perfect. I guess before we end, was there any questions regarding the basis wrap-up document or?
It's a separate item on the agenda.
Oh, it's a separate item on the agenda, okay. And then the only other thing is the basement, so the materials are ordered for the flooring and the split, the mini split has been ordered, so we're just waiting on the product to show up for the flooring and the installation. So I talked to the electrician, that's a separate part. The HVAC people do one part, the electrician does the other, so I'm just waiting for a call from the installer on the HVAC. And then the electrician, I'm gonna coordinate so they can visit, so we're all on the same page, and then that'll be done hopefully sooner than later. And then one last thing, it's not on the report, it was the OFM did a town hall. They've talked about the fire protection grant for year 3. So that's gonna be opening up here later in July. 20 million is allocated again, same as last year. That's gonna close September the 1st. The funding is to do with cancer prevention again, so it's up to us to come up with some ideas and some products to.
so it's related to that, not anything else.
So
And then lithium batteries too, right?
that and lithium batteries, yeah.
Yeah.
So between those two topics,
okay.
or they call them buckets, if you
Yeah,
will,
okay.
it has to meet that. requirement, and so it'll be very similar to last year, so it'll be that $16,000 to $18,000 per haul. So. And yeah, that's all I have for now, unless anybody's got anything for us.
Thank you. Did you have any questions? before
I have
we
a
move on?
question, not related to the report, but Canada Day
Mhm.
and the parade day with the closure of Alfred Street, were there any issues from your perspective? Like, I think somebody gonna ask us how that went, it was supposed to be a pilot. But it doesn't matter, because I've heard they're not gonna do it that way again next year.
Okay, yeah,
But-
on the fire side, they assured us that they would grant us access. I was down there. They didn't close it at Michigan like they originally said, they closed it
We
at
closed it at
Victoria.
Victoria, yeah.
I heard some rumblings from people from Sandy Lane
Mhm.
that said that, I think there might have been some miscommunication between the police and
Yeah,
what
they
was
were
that?
letting people, they were making people walk from the end of the block
Yeah,
that lived at Sandy Lane.
yeah, they weren't letting them
Mm.
leave, but if they wanted to go for coffee or something, they weren't
They
letting.
wouldn't let them drive their cars back in.
That's not a good deal, because most of them,
Right.
many of them are
We're-
seniors.
I didn't think that this committee was the spot to,
Yeah,
but it definitely is something to discuss for
Yeah.
future, not that
I-
it isn't the spot,
I
but
brought it up just for the fact of any emergency vehicles, like if it was,
We didn't have a call that day in that area, so
Yeah.
it's hard to judge
Yeah.
how that would have went, but.
It was manned by the police, which I was confused.
I thought they were using auxiliaries.
I thought they were using Sarnia police stuff, but it was all OPP,
Mhm.
and it was Reg
Yeah.
Force.
That wasn't
OPP.
supposed to be the deal.
So we would have had access. That wouldn't have been a problem. I think the rumblings I heard was from people on the street that were walking down the street that were upset that they had to leave their vehicles.
Yeah, because we were told that people
Mhm.
would have access.
Yeah.
If they
And
lived on the
they
street.
were-
Other
they were
than-
letting some people,
Yeah.
so they were deciding
Hmm.
from this, what I've heard, some people appeared that they would not need or not be able to walk that distance, and if you appeared that you could walk that distance, then you were not allowed to drive
Mhm.
based on that.
So they said there'd be nobody between 12:30 and 2 o'clock or something, that there'd be, emergency vehicle access, but no
That was the unloading.
vehicular traffic for that hour and a half or so, but. Their story to us was that other times, if you lived there, you could get through, so.
Yeah. I think there might have been some miscommunication between the organizers and the police maybe, because the police were pretty hard, fast on, no,
Yeah.
you're not granted passage.
Hmm.
So,
But the other thing, we were told, like, they want the road closed. We said, okay, but it can't come on us for resources.
Yeah.
And they were gonna manage it. So meanwhile, our OPP were managing it. Do we have costs related to that?
Well, we
Wonder-
said that we were very clear that we would be okay with that, but we would not be absorbing the costs.
Right.
Especially with that, and we were specific about that,
Yeah,
so.
all right, well, maybe they intend to. Hey, I don't know. I don't know what the follow-up is, but
The council was very, very
Yeah.
clear about that specifically, though.
and then before the day ever came. Maybe you told me, Jim, somebody told me, they've already decided that's not the way they're gonna do it next year, so. This was a 1-year project, pilot, I don't know what next year is.
Yeah, I'm not aware that they've made the decision not to do it this way. There's talk of not doing it that way. I don't know if they've actually decided.
Yeah,
And they may have,
yeah,
but I don't know for sure.
well, it was over and done with, I mean, it went pretty quickly.
Did you have any other questions before we move on to item number 2 for new business?
No, but it's something that came to my mind that relates to fire. I wrote it down. Cause we're looking at, the committee for the anniversary in 2028.
Mhm.
And in that year for the Canada Day Parade, I think we should have an entry with our 39 vehicle. Like be in the parade that year that it's our anniversary.
In Sarnia's parade? Or,
The Sarnia Parade, like, they had all, like Imperial had old trucks and, I mean, we put money into the parade. I think we should have, like.
I just didn't know if you meant we should be involved in the Sarnia parade, or if we should have our own parade.
No, I know, I
for our
said, we
anniversary.
should have. Something in the parade that says, we're 150 years old. Here's our truck, you know, like a float. It's just an idea. It goes to it'll go to the committee
Sure.
for ideas.
I mean, we put it in the Canada or the Christmas parade, sorry.
We didn't go last year
We didn't go last year,
or the year before.
because the year before we
Did we?
went, yeah,
Okay.
the truck didn't go last year because it's got some mechanical, you know, it's good for short
It's
runs.
sensitive to moisture.
Yeah, well, it's got
That's
some
all.
mechanical, like it's a 39 and
Yeah.
it needs some,
Well, I thought about when I saw, I think it was Imperial brought out their old truck.
yeah. Yeah, our 39, I mean, it's good for short runs, but when you start putting it in a long parade like that, it needs some work.
Okay,
It needs some mechanical
it
work.
was a thought.
Yeah. Oh, no, I mean, that's 2 years away, so that's something that we can work on.
Yep. Long-term planning.
Yep.
Thank you very much. We can move on to new business. Item number 2, the basis Sarnia area disaster simulation emergency exercise review. That's a mouthful. We did discuss this to some extent already, but I'm sure there might be a couple of points you wanted to add. Or if there are any points you wanted to add. Otherwise-
It's just that they were, basis was happy with the outcome of the exercise. They had petitioned all the members that had participated in it, and this was their after action report that they sent out. So basically they felt it met all their benchmarks and everything that they wanted to achieve. So we just wanted to share it with you, so you had knowledge of that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I mean, it was a bigger exercise than we're normally accustomed to participating in. Normally, it's done out in the industry. We don't get too involved in it. This year was kind of the opposite. We were highly involved in it. Not so much on the planning side, but just in the response side. So, yeah, their members shared this with us, so we thought, well, we'll pass it on to you and you can have a look at it.
Thank you very much. New business item number 3, very similar, was the preparedness exercise debrief summary for the village. Were there any points that you wanted to highlight specifically from that? We did have a chance to review it.
Yeah, just one thing that I mentioned earlier that I missed in there was just not pancaking 2 massive exercises at the same time, just for the sake of being able to manage them fully each.
But now you've had that experience, so when 2 disasters happen at
Yeah.
the same time, you're ready.
I'll pull the playbook out, like, all right, what did I do next? I think that's all I had additional to that.
Thank you very much. And then the fire hydrant upgrade proposal, which we spoke briefly about, and I did have a read through of that as well. I think that is a great plan. I think that we do need to update the infrastructure around that, and if we plan it in advance and we budget for it.
Yeah, it's more to just to raise awareness that we've been talking about it, and these are some of the reasons why
Absolutely.
we feel that it's important to go down that road.
And that's very thorough, and I think that that'll give all of council everything they need to kind of talk through it when we get to budget
Lots of
time.
time.
I know Jay's brought it up in his water meetings as well, so just so that
We appreciate all of the information, especially with having it in advance to really give it a lot of thought.
Yep.
Thank you.
So there is a motion there, recommendation to refer it to the budget process and.
Okay.
You know, have staff do what they do with all their budget stuff and prioritize it, and so that's the recommended
yeah. So the next step,
resolution.
talk to Jay just to I told him that I was bringing it to my committee. He was gonna mention it in his committee, and that you know, the next step would be getting cost estimates. The estimates that were in the report are, you know, his best guess on what he's done in the past, but get actual cost estimates for budget time.
Unless you have any, no, so we could absolutely make that recommendation to council.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we can move on to number 10, the review of the financial statements for the period ending June 30th, 2026. Were there any questions?
I didn't see anything concerning. At this point, when I reviewed it.
There was one,
Oh,
Line
I
item.
think there's that weekend, is that, again, the one that's the weekend call, is that again, the way it's allocated, does Jane need to do some? Didn't we decide that we thought some costs went into a wrong category?
Yeah, our point pay, she's changed it though, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's,
Oh, she's already changed
that,
that.
I was gonna, I
From
was gonna
mine.
say, it looked like it was fixed, but I wanted to confirm.
yeah,
'Cause I
it
was
is
like, it
fixed.
was 180 on this
And
copy.
how exactly, do we know exactly how she ended up fixing that?
Like just with the journal entry.
Yeah.
So like, I think it
Nancy's
was
fault.
something for, I believe that it was the point pay was allocated to the weekend.
Yeah.
And so she just backed it out of the weekend and put it where it belonged.
And was it just for the 1 month?
No, like, point pay is only paid twice a year.
I guess what I meant was, did she look back and see if that had happened previously, and were we adjusting those as well?
So it has happened in previous years, but it was adjusted in previous years as well. So hopefully it gets,
So if we caught
Okay.
that before, it just kind of got missed, put in the wrong place.
yeah, I think with the change in staffing at the, I think.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you. And thank you to Jane for
Yeah,
getting
so
that fixed.
so I
so quickly.
have an old copy, I mean, older, so she's already fixed it.
Thank you.
That was the only thing that drew my attention.
Wonderful. Did you have any events that you wanted to share?
We have, the next, Vintage in the Village would be, you've got your calendar up, Jim, can you tell me what the Friday is, please?
31st.
The 31st, Friday, the 31st of July would be the next Vintage in the Village. The last one was busy, over 300, right? Was what it
I
covered.
didn't hear an actual number, but I was told it. First one was like 306 and the second one was in the same.
Yeah, it looked pretty
Area.
full, like,
Mm.
oh, I do have, sorry, thanks for reminding me, I do, because I didn't write it down. I saw something that night. So a car came off Michigan onto the service road and drove right through the service road out into the waterfront. So I went over and pulled the gate and took the chain and looped it through and made it look like it was locked.
Hmm.
It wasn't.
The gate up near the
The
washer.
gate near the washrooms was wide open. Like so it caught my attention because this car turns in, it's not an antique car or a special car, and I thought, what are they doing? He thinks he can go in there, and then he went right through by the washrooms and came out.
Mm.
That.
It was a
there's No
shortcut.
reason for that gate to be open at all.
The student opened it,
Right, but
is
there's
what
no
I'm told,
reason.
but I don't
for
know
it.
why.
Oh, I shouldn't say there's no reason for it.
Okay,
Under normal circumstances, that gate.
yeah, I
is
can't
supposed
imagine
to be
why.
open for the
So
student.
I just took the chain and made it look like it was locked and that it was shut again, and I mentioned it to the lady at the gate, and she said, I saw them, but I couldn't, like, she couldn't stop them.
Mhm.
She was gonna wave them down and, but I mean, that's the only time I've ever seen that happen.
Usually the gate's closed and locked.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
guy, like, he noticed it?
Mhm.
Like to make that shortcut? I don't know, but
I think maybe they had it open for when, the band came in and set up their stuff.
I think it was opened for a reason. I honestly think that's right where the band was too. Like they might have brought their stuff in there.
Easier to offload there versus.
Yeah, didn't come all the way around. So I looked around for the student, but I couldn't find the student and it didn't matter. I just made it look closed. And they would come back at the end of their shift,
Mhm.
like at the end of the night when they lock everything up and lock it. So it's just something, I've never seen that happen before.
Okay, I'll let them know that, make sure that.
'Cause I
gate's
forgot,
closed at the end,
I
but-
think you were off then too, so
Yeah.
I just totally forgot to mention that it happened.
Well, and they had beautiful weather that day, so they had lots of cars out.
Oh.
It was It was pretty well.
Yeah,
attended.
people were socializing and then the band that was here was, what's his name that used to work here?
Ryan.
Ryan,
Ryan that used to work in the office.
he was really good, actually.
Yeah, they were good.
He is really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's great.
so I went over to pay him and was talking to him and like, he used to talk about his band, but it's the first time I heard them.
Mhm.
So that part went over really well and the charity, they looked like they were busy. Selling their 50/50s, so. Went well, I mean, it's all contingent on weather,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
so. We'll see what happens on the 31st. And then oh, sorry, and then this weekend is the Bridge Bash
And the pancake
and the
breakfast.
pancake
yeah.
breakfast, so, and Mackinac, so there is a lot going on this weekend.
Oh, since this is the fire committee, also the Lambton College is hosting the 2026 Western Ontario Fire Fit Regionals in 2 weeks as well. So, sorry, not 2 weeks, this Friday, the 17th, Saturday, July 18th.
Oh, I didn't even hear about that.
Did you know that we hosted once?
In Point Edward?
Yeah,
I did not.
it was really fun.
Probably 10 years ago. or
Yeah,
so.
they set up in the park, in the parking lot on Livingston Street. With the big tower and everything. And blocked off Livingston.
That's very
It was,
neat.
what, 36 degrees that day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah,
it was,
It was
was-
warm.
Wow.
it was horribly hot,
Hmm.
but I mean, it was a lot of effort went into it,
Mhm.
but it was a fun day to have it here.
Hmm. Interesting, very cool. Okay. Well,
It's probably why we've never done it before. And found out how much work it was.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so the next meeting of the fire committee will be held September 8th, 2026 at 8:45 a.m. We may adjourn.
Hey, Claudio,